Alrighty, y'all, you have waited. We have prepared. We have TFT going to be running Death's Door with the weapon relay restricted here in just a moment. That moment is now. Take it away, TFT.
I'm TFT, and I'm going to be doing a little bit of a category a couple of us runners have cooked up called Weapon Relay. It's a pretty exciting run, because normally you see the sword in our run, but today you're going to be seeing every other weapon except the sword, so it'll be a little bit of a different take than normal. I have two commentators with me to help provide commentary during the combats, because I'm going to be a little distracted if they want to introduce themselves.
Hello. We both
go.
waited the same amount of time. Perfect.
Hi, I'm Velociraptor. I'm a Death Store speedrunner. I've also done both Any Percent and Weapon Relay.
Hi, I'm Happy by 3. I guess I'm like a former Death's Door speedrunner, though, you know, it's never too late to play this game again. And I have mostly run the regular no major glitches restricted category and 100% restricted.
Awesome. So I think there's one other thing we need to sort out before we start, which is what language am I going to be running the game in?
Let me give one quick refresh here to the old Tiltify. And it looks like Portuguese has won it. $10 ahead of English.
All right, Portuguese it is.
Heck yeah.
I don't think I've done a full run of the game in Portuguese, so we'll see how that goes. But that's not going to be a problem.
I almost hope you have a death now, so I can see what the death screen is in Portuguese.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that.
Like the only one I haven't seen.
That should be good. All right, I think we are set up to go then. So I'll get us on the start screen, and I will start us off in 3, 2, 1, go.
Great. This is Weapon Relay. Basically, the objective for this category is that we're going to go and pick up every item or every weapon as soon as we possibly can and switch to it. So, as TFC said before, we're not going to be using the sword at all in this run, which sucks because it's, I think, objectively the best weapon in the game. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I feel like it is too. I definitely agree with that assessment.
So, right after we are done talking to Chandler here, we're going to go and pick up the discarded umbrella, which is one of the 5 weapons that this game has. This is intended to be like a challenge weapon, in that it basically has the same stats as the sword in terms of its swing speed and its range. However, unlike the sword, which has a base damage of 1, the umbrella does half damage. So for the beginning of this run until we get our next weapon, our primary damage output, instead of being from the umbrella itself, is actually going to be from the arrows. So if you look in the top left, after this cutscene, there are like 4 diamonds, and then in the top one we have the bow and arrow. Next to that we have our health in green, and then these 4 white pips. Those indicate how many times we can use our spells. And because arrows do 1 damage instead of half, most of our damage output is going to be from those instead of the umbrella. But you'll see TFT slashing. I think the optimal damage cycle is 3 arrows, or deplete your pips until you have none, and then you refill your pips by slashing. And that was a pretty clean fight.
Yeah,
We got to see part of the
fight looks much different
we got to see
with umbrella.
part of the second phase of the fight, which there are 2 other phases after that we don't ever get to see in any of the speedruns, but we get to see a little more of it here.
In categories where you just use the sword there, you just stand in one place. You win the fight before the spinning really starts up, so you can just stand in one place and mash your combo, and it's a free fight. So from the first tutorial boss, this category is already harder than regular restricted. Chat is already getting their money's worth.
What you saw TFT do there is just a little dialogue skip. If you mash roll and interact, or what is it? It's roll, or I think it's roll and slash. You can skip the dialogue that you get for picking up any kind of item for the first time. So this applies to weapons, soul orbs, and the horn or saxophone. So we're actually going to be seeing a lot of the small dialogue skips because we're going to have to do it every time we pick up a weapon.
Don't worry, chat. You can be angry with me when we get to the saxophone about how much it's not a saxophone.
We'll get there.
What would it be instead of a saxophone?
It has like a tuba mouthpiece. It's shaped like a bass clarinet and looks to be made of wood like a bass clarinet, but it sounds like a flute in the soundtrack. And we as a community have all decided to call it the saxophone.
Would you be opposed to calling it a didgeridoo?
I mean, I guess that's a little bit closer.
Do you mind
I
if I
just think it's so funny that...
a quick announcement?
Of course,
Go
not.
for it.
I just got word that we have a new milestone open up for tomorrow. We're gonna have a costume bid war for Control, which is, I believe, our opening game for tomorrow. You can choose the costume our runner Cast uses for our player character Jesse Faden. Whether it's a slick golden suit or a simple janitor's assistant, you can choose what we're gonna look like for that. We got 4 options for it, and yeah, I think we're trying to push for like maybe hitting 14, maybe 1500 tonight. So if we want to get a little momentum towards Control, give a little love to our runner Cast tomorrow. Hey, it's for the dogs. We love dogs around here, don't we?
We're about to lose several seconds, is my understanding,
Yeah, a couple.
because of
Yeah.
Portuguese.
Yep.
Is that where it happens?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
recently made a discovery in the community thanks to AA Dewey. In the Japanese version in particular, Steadhone does not wait before moving after the tutorial. So we have to sit and wait for a little bit while Steadhone gets ready to move, and we lose probably about 1 or 2 seconds.
Yeah. I always ran this game in Japanese, so I had absolutely no idea there was a difference. And I think for the most part, everybody just kind of ran in whatever language they decided on at the beginning, and then never really noticed that like other people's games felt slower, because I don't know, when you're watching, things feel different anyway, maybe? Like, I don't know how none of us noticed, because we were all running it on different languages.
The game's kind of jank.
So one interesting thing about these arenas is we have a lot of these really like mapped out. But because of weapon relay and not just using the sword with a certain amount of expected upgrades, TFT has to know completely different patterns for all of these arenas than the normal run.
Oh yeah, and
Which
all of the
is-
damage cycles are... I'm not gonna lie, they're kind of horrible.
They're worse.
Yeah, I thought that switching from like high strength in any percent down to low strength hasty was bad. Weapon relay is completely different, and it's not very good. Yeah, it's because, as we said, like Umbrella only does half damage, and you really rely on being able to do a lot of damage with the sword. We're probably going to see a save and quit here to get a heal to be safe for Guardian.
Yeah.
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 It goes back to the door that I unlocked when we first walked into this section. Doesn't say early.
Yeah, so that's a mechanic we'll use quite a lot to save time, is the save and quit. Save and quit takes you back to the last door that you went through or spawned. And so we can save and quit to avoid backtracking, to jump to certain parts of the map, and then as you open doors, they also appear in that main like overworld area where we started. So you can also use it to like save and quit back to a door, go through it, take a quicker overworld track to the door you need to be at, and then go through that door. Stuff like that.
Ooh, okay. Usually you can roll through laser attacks like that, and it'll cancel it. Unfortunately, TFT got hit by like the tail end of it, or like at the end of your roll, unintuitively, you don't have iframe, which kind of sucks. But yeah, that's the reason he ended up getting hit there, which is pretty unfortunate. Only taking one hit though, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, one hit on that is phenomenal. This game, the tutorial boss of this game is actually like a tutorial boss. It's really easy. And then the second boss it gives to you is like one of the hardest bosses to speedrun.
Yeah. And we usually use a fast strat on that for any percent because you can kind of tuck in the corner and kind of just kill the boss before the attacks really matter. But with Umbrella, we have to kind of dodge the attacks a bit more. So I was trying to get a few kind of roll heavy attacks in because on the Umbrella, they actually move you forward. And so it does 1.5 times damage, which is a little different than the other weapons. So it is actually pretty not bad to do those roll heavies when I can fit them in.
You mean 1.5 damage?
Yeah, 1.5 damage, not 1.5 times damage, because that would be a little less.
Yeah, some of the multipliers for the different weapons.
Ladies
are
and
kind of
gentlemen,
weird.
Death's Door. From the video game, Death's Door.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's right
Let's
there.
set a Porta de Morte.
Porta de Morte. I like that it rhymes.
That's Italian.
Well, so am I. The best I can do.
Right, Roger, you were saying?
Oh yeah, some of the multipliers for like the different types of attacks, because you have the light slash, you have a normal like standing heavy, you have a rolling heavy, and you have a charged heavy, and the multipliers for these are kind of all over the place for each of the different weapons. Just as an example, the sword is probably the simplest case where, you know, at the base strength, your light slash does 1 damage, a heavy does 2, a roll heavy does 2, and a charged heavy does 3. That is not the case for every weapon.
For any weapon, really.
It's, you know, it's literally, it's all over the map. So like, I think Umbrella, roll heavy does 3x damage, and charged heavy also does 3x damage. And a heavy does 2x, which is actually quite normal. But when we get to like daggers and stuff, it's a mess. I think probably the most confusing mechanically weapon in the game is for sure the hammer, but we'll get there.
Yeah, the hammer's its own set of nuances that we'll see.
There's like 4 different type, or more than 4 different types of damage that it does in terms of like its multipliers. So there's a lot of
Wild.
you'll kind of expect it to kill an enemy, and it just won't because you missed a hitbox or something, and you'll take a hit and die. It's the beauty of weapon relay, surely.
So, I heard you mention earlier that we see Pothead in Weapon Relay. Do we not do Pothead skip?
We don't.
What?
So you technically can, but it's really hard to do consistently. And so I've just found that it's easier to just walk through, say hello to Pothead.
Oh, because of the umbrella?
Yeah, the umbrella, because we're not swapping back over to the sword. It just, the attacks act a little differently and make it way less consistent.
Interesting. Yeah, usually we have a skip there with the sword in like any percent where you can just roll up onto that green plant pot, like the one at the bottom of the screen right now. You roll on top of it and then roll onto the hedge, and you can skip all the dialogue with Pothead. But apparently that doesn't work great when you have an umbrella.
Yeah, this also unfortunately means that we have to skip that soul orb that we passed by, which is kind of a staple in the high strength any percent route. Ooh, this right side is a little rough, but it's fine.
Not too big a deal.
We will be free of the umbrella soon, don't worry.
And the one nice thing
Heartbreaking.
about unlocking that section is we do get a free heal here. Because
Yeah, you can just save and quit after the lever.
and you get to
It
skip
just
this
occurred to
cutscene.
me,
So
I don't know if you ever explicitly told chat the rules of Weapon Relay.
Oh, we did that. at
Yeah,
the
I've been wondering that actually.
yeah, we can go over it one more time though. The idea is that instead of doing a regular any percent run, we're doing that run, but whenever you can pick up a weapon in the game, you have to, and then you have to use it. And so, since the umbrella's at the beginning of the game, we picked up the umbrella. We're using that till the next weapon we can get, which will be daggers pretty soon. And then we'll use those until we can get hammer, and then we'll use those for greatsword, and we'll use greatsword for the rest of the game. It's kind of the high level strategy of it.
It's like some kind
the
of
order
relay.
of weapons is determined by the game. It is not vibes based, we promise.
Yeah. It also works out really well because all 4 weapons get about equal screen time. So it kind of worked out really
super
perfectly.
nice. Currently hearing the best oboe solo in video game OSTs.
I can't even think of another instance, so I'm gonna have to assume that you're right. Yeah, this restriction that we have of having to pick up each weapon as soon as possible has some strange implications, or it makes some of our routing a little bit funky. Like, we need to go out of our way at a couple of different points. We'll see that when we go to get the hammer, we're gonna have to run through a dungeon and then go back through it. Because technically, the hammer was accessible at the beginning.
Speaking of sidetracks, we're doing a sidetrack now to get the daggers.
Yeah.
This is a optional area of the game that we don't ever interact with at any percent, but it does hide the daggers at the very end of it. So we'll be doing it right here.
Way back in the day, I think that we did, like, when zoomies were legal,
Yep.
we used to do
Back in my day.
back in my day, yeah, we would use like the hitbox of one of the archers, which would lift us up onto a hedge to be able to get the rogue daggers early. And yeah, the daggers are nice because there's this major glitch called zoomies where you can re-equip a weapon after doing a charged heavy, and you'll go in a straight line extremely fast, and it's dependent on like the slash timing, I think. TFT, correct me if I'm wrong. But you can go really fast, and that enables some pretty heinous skips. Like, you can get early hookshot by using zoomies.
Yeah. If you have not seen the unrestricted category of this, chat, I highly recommend going to watch it at some point. It is a very silly, very broken game.
Quite literally a different
Unrestricted is
run.
literally a different game. Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically a completely different video game. I don't know a lot of people who run both.
Yeah, I think Unrestricted is more for people that want to play the game for its movement rather than its combat, but the restricted runs are definitely all about that combat.
Yeah. And clean arenas, which for some reason you've chosen to make harder for yourself. TFT.
They're not too bad.
Same.
Good? Do you like yourself? Is this a form of, like, punishment?
No, we're past the hard part. We've got the umbrella done, so no more punishment.
Yeah, nothing punishing about doing arena fights with daggers, surely.
What's funny about the daggers is this is probably the most normal part of the run, if I'm being completely honest, because a lot of the damage cycles don't actually change that much.
Interesting. Well, and a lot of the, at least for the movement section of basically the whole mansion, is a lot of, like, arrow strats. So it doesn't super matter what weapon you have equipped for those.
Yeah, I think probably the most problematic part would be the Lickitongues, just because, well, if you're coming from low strength hasty, which is the upgrade route that TFT is going to be doing, as you saw, he just upgraded strength and haste. So strength normatively increases your damage output for a light slash usually from 1 to 1.2, so it's a 20% increase, and you just add 0.2 for each strength upgrade. I actually am not sure how much the haste upgrade changes your base movement speed. It's probably a very small amount, but it is quite significant in that it makes a lot of isometry skips quite a bit easier, or at least more consistent. So we'll point those out when they happen.
It also just, over the course of the run, you save a ton of time just being ever so slightly faster, especially in this category when we're going to be running around for a bunch of extra weapons.
Yeah, I mean, for the next 60 seconds, look at how many times TFT rolls. And think about if each of those gets you 2 pixels further, how quickly that adds up in an hour-long run. You know, like, we roll so much in this game.
I think it might have fallen off. I did, because I slashed. That's okay.
Hey, quick question. What do you mean backup?
Oh, you get this one,
That's
Roger.
the strat that I know. Oh, yeah. Didn't y'all find a way to do it from, like, the other room?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you stand on like the
Silly.
left side of the fire pit, you can shoot another arrow at the correct angle, and it'll hit the spider webs in the doorway from the previous room, as long as you roll into the next room so it's loaded in.
Wild.
Yeah, TFT, do you want to tell me who came up with that skill?
I may have found it incidentally messing with the game a bit.
Bravo.
As a few other tricks that we found in the game.
It's so cool that, like, I think the last time I ran this game was like several years ago, and we are still finding new strats, and like pretty significant new strats. Like, the route has changed a lot, and I came in after the game had already been really popular and being run for quite some time. Like, it's amazing how active y'all still are and that you're still finding things.
I think we can thank TFT for that.
I'm sure
Thanks,
we'll
TFT.
have other things we find in the future as well.
Yeah, surely there isn't an even worse upgrade route that's somehow faster, right?
Not that I've found, thank goodness. But you never know. Maybe someone smarter than me can figure something out.
All right, so
It's time for everyone's favorite room.
It's literally the worst game in the room. Game in the room? That's
Implaude.
And
Those are worse.
it's harder because I have to heavy to kill all these imps. I cannot light attack because it's 2 light attacks. Like that.
Imploft is the worst. It's dark. There's so many imps. They do that thing where they block when you're trying to light the braziers. They just, everything about this room is hell.
Yeah, this game likes to do this really nice prank where the auto aim tends to focus on enemies rather than environmental objects like the fire pits that we need to light in order to clear the cobwebs on the last ladder. So you'll end up wasting all of your pips just shooting imps, and then you won't see one. It'll do a stupid wind up and it'll hit you, and you'll just die. So
There's no like iframe protection after you get hit, so you can kind of just get wombo comboed.
Yeah, you can get chain stunned by imps pretty easy.
especially because there's like a dozen of them.
I love that the more things change, the more they stay the same. And right after I was like, it's amazing how different this is from the route that I know from, just a year or two ago. You're like, but you know what's exactly the same? Everybody hates Imploft. I think that's beautiful.
I have not heard a single person
Y'all got that.
ever like Imploft. Sorry, you were saying?
Y'all have time for a quick donation?
Yeah.
You want to wait for after this?
No, go ahead.
Okay. We got a $25 donation from Anime Night saying, "Hey TFT, glad to see your hard work on the big screen. I have to ask, does this game have a cliffhanger? ...
No cliffhangers that I know in this game. But thank you for the donation. Those are a couple of my real life friends that I usually have an anime night on this night, but we're doing this run instead. So thank you all so
Oh,
much
that's
for your
They came to watch
donation.
you instead.
Yeah,
That's so sweet.
That's really. They wrote it as night, like the palace night thing. That's really funny.
thank you again.
That's really sweet. What are y'all watching right now?
We're watching a few things because we have people out. We're watching Solo Leveling, and then we're watching so many other when people are out. So I think we just finished Spy X Family. So yeah, a lot of different. Yeah,
Nice.
I love Spy Family.
it was a good one.
So good.
That's where the X in my name comes from, actually.
That's why you're Marcy.
Yeah, it's that and Hunter x Hunter.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I got the glitch. The pot was just jumping in the air.
Classic.
Yeah. While you're paused, the enemies aren't
I think
necessarily
you-
always paused. So you get some fun glitches like that.
I think you have to donate $5 because you just showed a glitch at no glitches allowed.
Well,
How could
it was
you?
accidental, so hopefully,
I mean, speaking of a donation with $5 in it, we also have a $50 donation from Genesis in all caps, just saying "Bird Game."
Bird
thank
game.
you, Genesis.
Bird Game.
That is my lovely wife. I appreciate you donating as well. Thank you all for the
Bird
support
game.
for this run.
Yeah. Both these donations have also gone to the costume bid war that we have for Control as well. Asynchronous Suit is in the lead. That'll be the first run of tomorrow's showcase of runs. So if y'all want to have an influence on the costume, make sure to get your donations in.
Right, so we're seeing what's usually one of the easiest arenas in Manor, but I don't know if you saw how jank the Lickitung can be with jumping on top of one of the other mages and some of the deflects getting eaten.
Yeah, that one,
Not a fun arena with the daggers.
you gotta wait for me a little bit. Oh, we made it through.
Right, so we're coming up on our first Avarice. This is going to basically, this is how we acquire spells throughout the game.
Oh my god.
So
We earned it, finally.
we
We're gonna get our first spell, and we already did all the work to get it, and now we just have to go collect our treasure.
Yeah, nothing else to do but collect it.
Chat, please watch very closely. These animations are the best part of the entire game.
Oh,
Sweet Inquisitive Boy. There will be a story with the upcoming animations. Remember how the first one went. It's Avarice time.
So yeah, these are basically just arenas with 4 different waves. Again, like every other arena in the game, these have like scripted spawn positions, and then after that, it's you try to stick to the script, but not every time does the enemy movement and behavior kind of cooperate with you. We can control that to some extent, but with weapon relay, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, and mages are kind of the worst about that, because if you don't kill them on their first cycle, they will just teleport. So it's not like they're running on the ground and you're like, I'll just catch it before it goes very far, but it's still in the general area. Like if you miss a mage, it can just pop up in Avarice off screen where you cannot see it until it shoots you. Like
Yeah, I think
Avarice is
probably
mean.
one of the most concerning things is that it loses you like at least 2 seconds if you miss one of like the quicker kills on the mages.
Yeah, because you just wait for them to disappear and then pop up somewhere else. Then you find where they are and run to them.
Yeah, I think we'll probably see the worst of it during Ava 2, just because there are a lot of mages.
yeah, and that's with the
and
hammer.
they do not cooperate. Yeah.
Ava is also my very favorite music in this game.
So good. Yeah. So, usually to do a lot of damage at one time, with enemies that have projectiles that aren't arrows, because you can't deflect arrows, but you can reflect them back at the enemies, and it'll do twice as much damage as whatever attack you deflected with would normally do. So if you were to reflect a projectile at a mage with a light slash from the sword, which would normally do 1 damage, it would do 2 damage to the mage, and they have 5 HP. So if you were to deflect with a heavy attack, it would do 4 damage. If you were to deflect with a charged heavy, it would do 6 damage, which means you can one-shot it. The hammer does not like to play nice with reflecting any sort of projectiles because for some reason the hitbox is extremely small.
It's like a ball peen hammer. Oh,
yeah, for sure.
It's possible, but it's
It can
really,
be
hard.
frustrating.
Like
Yeah.
on screen is a Monster Hunter hammer, but the hitbox is like a hammer in your toolbox.
True. Okay. We're coming up on definitely a top 3 character in the game.
Oh,
My
easy.
beloved Leg Day.
Leg day.
We'll get some claps for leg
Do you
day here.
Oh yeah, we can clap for leg day.
Mm-hmm.
Little clappies. Some spins for good luck.
Oh my goodness.
It makes me happy to know that 10 years from now, when there's a whole new group of people running this game and any percent unrestricted is 3 seconds long, runners will still be spinning and clapping for leg day.
That's the whole run, actually. You just spin for 3 seconds.
Spin for leg day.
Manipulates RNG in the background.
It's the funnest, like, arbitrary code execution you could ask for.
I hope that's it.
Just do some spinnies. And then you can plug your N64 into your computer and beat Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
Quickly pause just to check my seed and soul count. I want to see if I want to grab that seed or not. But I've got one, which should be plenty for the next couple sections. We haven't used it yet, but the other way to heal in this game, and the actual like intended way to heal, is these green pots like you can see up here. You can plant seeds in them, and they spawn respawnable little roots that you can heal with. Or glowy orbs? I'm not quite sure what you want to call them. In any case, they fully heal us whenever we grab one.
It's a fruit, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Maybe?
I'm used to just not healing.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Damn, all right. Humble brag.
Nah, dude. TFT hasn't seen one of the healing pots in this game for like 2 years.
Oh, don't worry. We will see a healing pot in this run, I guarantee you. I have not done a run of this category Deathloop, so I said it.
I've seen healing pots because I run the optimal category at Hundo. Yo, first try mom skip. Let's go.
That's one of the things
That's harder than TFT made it look.
yeah. Though it is easier with the haste. It really helps a lot.
Yeah, haste.
Oh, true. Haste probably helps. I never learned the haste route, so I don't know which skips are easier with haste. I'm still a filthy high strength girly.
Basically, every isometry skip is like an order of magnitude easier with haste.
Wow. Dang. Well, I'm glad we discovered that after Waterbird copy pasta, because I don't want to live in a world without Waterbird copy pasta.
It's so good. Yeah, unfortunately, sacrificing strength 2 for haste 1 makes every damage cycle in the game like so much worse. Because you just have to relearn all the muscle memory.
Should I ask what Waterbird copy pasta is?
I don't know. There's some runners in chat. Anyone from the community want to pop Waterbird copy pasta in chat? I was gonna save it for Waterbird skip, but if chat's got it locked and loaded.
I mean, chat, if you want to also help, support our whole reason we're here, Go Rescue, I'd be happy to read it once we actually get to that skip too.
So TFT is going through, I think, objectively the funnest arena in the game, where you can basically kill all the enemies without hitting them at all. You can just smack these bomb flowers and they will kill all of the enemies for you.
And so this is the great saxophone debate that we've been waiting for.
Thank you, Roger. Yes, this is the supposed saxophone.
It seems fair to me. Chat, what do you think? Do you think this is a saxophone, or what instrument would you call this? We'll get a better view of it in a second, so make sure to watch carefully here.
There we go. So this is Mom's saxophone with a brass mouthpiece and a wooden body that sounds like a flute.
I'm not sure how much explaining we want to do here, but playing this saxophone didgeridoo amalgamation of an instrument will open up these tentacles, and this opens up the ruins. And so what we're going to be doing here is we're going to just blitz through this whole like sub-dungeon thing to go and get the hammer. And then we're going to loop back through and do all of the associated arenas to gather the crow souls so we can get our next avarice door.
Yeah, because we can grab the hammer, we have to grab the hammer. So I'm going to avoid doing any combats until I grab it, just for the sake of the run. I'm going to grab this upgrade. I'm going to do a couple of non-combat things really quickly, just to prepare for the next section.
Strength 3 makes this pretty comfy, I think.
For sure.
Chat seems to understand me that Mom is a hunting horn main, and as a fellow hunting horn main, I see her and I love her.
Valid.
Oh, you fell!
I fell.
I was literally just gonna say, "Aw, dang, just barely didn't fall," and then you just out the side.
It's okay.
Oh, you don't pick up the orb here?
No,
Save that for later.
I don't think that really matters either way. Although I do need that.
Oh, is this skip like ridiculously easy now with haste?
Yeah. We're gonna grab that key later also. We got one more key we're gonna get.
Oh, do you not do the isometry skip there? Heartbreaking.
It's a little risky for a marathon.
That's fair. That's fair.
Because if you fail, you fall in the water.
Especially with the best arena coming up.
Yeah.
Author's note for chat: it's the worst arena.
I don't know why I grabbed this key, but that's okay.
I feel like after switching routes from high strength to low strength hasty, the arena that you're referring to actually became probably the most consistent arena out of the 4 crows here. Yeah, because you don't. Well, maybe this is a me problem, but I have I have like the worst spider RNG.
Well,
yeah, like spiders are like the one truly RNG enemy in the game, and we will fight a lot of them once we start doing these arenas with the hammer. But mages have a little bit of RNG in the sense that they like, teleport to a random spot. But spiders fully have RNG whether or not your attack hits them.
yeah, it is a literal 50-50 if they dodge or not.
Luckily, the hammer makes this a little bit more bearable. Like this first crow that we're going to be coming up here, it's usually horrible. If I'm being completely honest, you just like get into this cycle of like doing a heavy and you're just getting dodged, and you chase the spider around the arena for like 30 years and you cry at your time loss. But something special about the hammer is that when you do a heavy, or I guess the light slash also does magic damage, but it has like this electricity effect. So, ooh, unfortunate.
Well, we have got
So you can just kind of like, yeah, you can just stand in the middle of the arena and.
Wow, I see what you mean about the hitbox, huh?
Yeah, it's a little
That's
iffy.
infuriating.
That's okay.
Are you gonna take the heal in the next one?
Yeah, and I'm gonna grab the seed
And what?
also, just to have a safety seed for the rest of this. This is one of the sections that is a bit tougher to not die. So we're gonna be as safe as possible. Oh.
We're also coming up on one of my favorite movement sections, just purely for the memory of it. I don't remember what event, but I was running restricted for some event with Thistle and I don't remember who else was on my comms, but they like taught me a new route after pool party, like live mid-run. They're like, oh, did you see the new skip here, by the way? So it's just like routing live. And if that's not the energy of Death's Door community, I don't know what is.
Are you talking about the death ward?
Not Thistle skip, but like right after that, when you can like roll over the vine from like the backside. For a really long time, we didn't do that.
Oh yeah.
And then someone was just like, hey, wait, we can roll over this. And so during a marathon run, they were like, ah, crap, did you see that in the Discord earlier? I'm like,
Speaking of random things we discovered we can roll over, after the next arena, I'll show you one of those nice little walls.
Hooray.
So,
Does haste also make it easier to roll over stuff? Like in addition to giving you the extra distance on isometry?
not that I've seen, but I'm sure it does in some way. I haven't found a useful application of it, but I'm sure if you
I
try
don't
it.
think that there are many spaces in the game where like we need to roll over something. At least like,
Not that you couldn't already roll over.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of something like puzzle skip.
Yeah.
But obviously, we can do that even with haste 0. So I don't know. So, yeah, something else we have not been talking about the combat. Is that so the hammer? I was
What?
talking about. I was not
Ridiculous spider RNG.
That's pretty good, yeah.
It was pretty good, yeah. But the hammer, like, you'll see TFT stand really close to the hammer bros when they spawn in, and this is because if you do a heavy really close to an enemy, you'll get a double hit. And I labbed this out earlier, but with the base hammer, which does 1.2 or 1.2, I think it's 1.2 damage. But with a heavy double, it does 4.4 damage, which is kind of ridiculous. And this is kind of applicable for ABBA 2, because I think, or I guess it's ABBA 3. The boomerang guys.
ABBA
you can
thrice, please.
Yeah, ABBA thrice. You can just sunlock them with heavy doubles.
Oh.
You just stand there and wail on them. And they, yeah, it's weird.
Interesting.
I don't know if it's technically faster, because I don't think I've seen TFT do that strat, but it exists. Ooh.
Oh, this
Oh,
is
no,
fine.
Oh.
This is,
It's okay. It's fine. You're gonna be perfect the rest of the way and hit Thistle skip. Easy.
I'll hit Thistle skip if
Fine,
I
we're-
can. I'm just gonna place a little
Skip
safe.
seconds.
Yeah, we're almost playing super safe. We're good.
Okay,
Nice.
no, we're totally good.
And we get to show this
GG's.
off.
Thistle skip?
Thistle skip.
Yeah.
Oh, and we get to see
Morte.
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 Morte. Yay. So, that's Thistle Skip, which was discovered by the runner Thistle, who rolled off and died while collecting that soul one time, and then went, wait a second, you still get the soul and you warp back, so it is a very small optimization over collecting the soul and then save and quitting.
But only if you're at 1 HP.
Yes, it only works if you can die on the roll where you collect.
I was just showcasing the trick for you all. I was the whole time
Exactly.
just planned. Don't worry about it.
And double A Dewey, there is no JP time save today because we had a bid war for language choice, and the people spoke and chose Portuguese.
All right, this is our second ABBA. Nice, letting the hammer bro come to you.
One really funny thing that starts happening in Ava 2 is we've never seen these enemies before, but Avarice is supposed to be like a showcase of all the enemies you've fought so far. This is because we're doing things out of order, and I don't know if we mentioned that earlier,
We did not.
But every area is split into 2 sections. You go through section 1, you get the upgrade from Avarice, and then you use that upgrade to unlock section 2, and you go through section 2 with a fun new mechanic, and then fight a boss at the end of section 2. It is faster, though, in the speedrun for us to do the first section of everything, collect all of the upgrades, then go back and do the bosses in reverse order. So what ends up happening is you walk into Avarice, and it's like, remember those enemies from part 2 of Dungeon 1? And we're like,
Nope.
no, I don't.
That was a pretty clean Ava too, if I'm being
That was
completely
really good
honest.
Ava. Yeah, do I need to just yap over the rest of the Avas? Jeez. Clean.
TFT needs that white noise to just lock
I
in.
guess so.
I feel it, honestly. We were just talking about that yesterday, like how much better I am at speed games if I don't try to think about the speed game and just talk about nothing.
Oh yeah, me too.
I'm like,
If I'm in a Zen mode, I am much better at speedrunning than if I'm worried about it.
I think it's because also like the combat in this game is quite flowy,
mhm.
in that you kind of get into the groove and it's, unless you get tilted by something.
Yeah. That's why you'll often see if someone takes damage, they will take 2 or 3 damage, because so much of the combat in this game is about rhythm, and like you get a feel for like the speed and the rhythm of certain enemies, and once you get hit and that rhythm gets disrupted, it's like very jarring, and you'll almost always get hit twice before you like find the beat again.
I got a hot take for y'all if you want to give opinions on it. I've had this for a while.
Okay.
I think Death's Door is secretly a rhythm game disguised as an action RPG.
Okay.
I would believe
How about
that,
that?
honestly.
The combat really does feel like a rhythm game.
Combat does, the rolling does, even some of the tricks
Rolling
for
does.
like the unrestricted route can feel very rhythmy at times.
Zoomies certainly do, yeah.
Yeah.
There's definitely a certain timing to zoomies.
TFT, do you ever just like hit a position save in debug when you're trying to practice a trick, and you just get into a rhythm and you hit a trick like 8 or 9 times in a row? That's literally a rhythm game.
I can't say I've done that, but that'd be pretty great. I guess I'll have to try that sometime.
It's really fun for something like puzzle skip or the lever skip when you go to Fortress.
Hello, Barbara.
I guess we should
Barb the
explain the switch that we just hit.
Yeah.
So to unlock the greatsword, you need to hit these 4 switches that are hidden in like behind these walls, which you need bomb for. And fun fact, I had no idea what these switches were for, because every single time I played the game for completion, including my casual playthrough, I just did a major glitch to get the greatsword early.
Incredible.
I was just like, oh, dude, you can do like either an arc or a zoomies to be able to get this. I'm just gonna do that. And I'm like, oh, I don't know what these switches are for. So when I did my first weapon relay run, I did not know that I needed to go and hit these switches to be able to unlock the weapon.
Yeah, we can't quite get the great sword yet because without a major glitch, which we're not doing in this run, you have to have the hook shot for it, which we'll get to pretty soon. We made our way over to Castle Boxton, which we haven't really been talking about the game that much. We're in kind of the third kind of main section of the game. This is getting close to the end game sections of the game where we're gonna be doing this completely wrong. That's okay. Unlocking our last spell.
As is tradition, if we're going through Lockstone, we have to shout out original diagram strats. One of the earliest things that the community found and used to make this game go faster were strategies for these rooms and how to shoot through things and corner shots and such to do these rooms optimally, and they were drawn up with the most incomprehensible esoteric MS Paint diagrams you've ever seen.
What do you mean? They were
So
perfect.
they are still called diagram strats to this day, in loving reference of those first diagrams.
They can be esoteric and perfect. Don't worry.
Oh, they are perfect.
They're very emblematic of the community.
Yes. And I feel like the community's been through like 3 or 4 waves of runners, but the general vibe has not changed.
Yeah, it turns out this store just like attracts the same type of people.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm curious to see this next arena because I don't quite remember what the hammer strat is.
We'll see.
Because usually there's there's a pretty I don't know, maybe I'm just bad, but the strat for this next arena is not easy
No.
with the sword. So getting it with the hammer is gonna be something.
It is doable with the hammer, very hard. We'll see how it goes here.
So normally,
Yeah.
oh god, okay.
This is tough.
Yeah, because it relies on getting like the heavy deflect from the mage balls to kill the mage that's like on the upper right, but we missed. It's because the hammer heavy hitbox sucks.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Yeah.
that's
I'm
okay.
just showcasing how hard this run is. This is not an easy run.
I can see why this particular arena would be a problem under the circumstances.
Yeah. It also doesn't help that we don't get any magic upgrades during this run, and the all of the electricity damage that the hammer does it scales with your magic upgrades. So I think that if like you were to use the hammer exclusively in a run, you would definitely want to do more magic upgrades for situations like this where you kind of get overwhelmed by a bunch of enemies. It's because, again, the hitboxes with the hammer are pretty fickle, so getting the splash damage is actually quite important for being able to dispatch like super big groups of enemies like this.
Yeah, and like we were talking about earlier with like the enemies feeling like a rhythm game, you can imagine why that gets really hard when you have like 5 enemies coming at you at once, because all of a sudden you are like trying to listen to a 5-part polyrhythm and find where the holes are so you can attack during the holes,
Yeah.
which is not easy.
Yeah. A lot of what we do kind of is separate out enemies so that we can deal with them one at a time. And when you have a weapon like this, sometimes you can't quite do that.
Yeah, a lot of the routing for any percent is kind of based off of being able to dispatch enemies kind of one at a time and keeping your strength up to scratch in being able to do that. Which is why like the high strength route is so intuitive, because your damage scales really nicely with all of the enemies that you need to fight. We don't really have that, or we're sacrificing our damage output for the sake of not having to pick up orbs in the overworld. Queen.
Such a fun room. Those shots are exceptionally tight to get around the corner of those. Like, once again, TFT has made something look very easy that I assure you is not.
Yeah. The thing about the switches that make them hard is there's an auto aim, but the auto aim only works when they're fully up. So you kind of have to time it so that it's at the exact right moment.
Yeah, and the auto aim really likes to like try and bring you towards something more logical. Like if you're trying to kind of cheese it and like shoot around a corner or something, the auto aim has a little bit of like, well, surely that's not what you're trying to do. Well, no, but it is. It is.
Let me cheat. But yeah, we'll see that, I think coming up in a bit, that not all of the walls in this game are completely real. For the crow, they are, the protagonist, if you will. But for the next spell, as well as arrows, not all of the walls are walls. So you'll be able to hit switches through these walls, which we'll see after the next Avarice. Yeah, I thought that only the first set of switches in Lockstone was like that, where the switches only auto aim when they're fully out.
Yeah, I believe it's every single one. It just normally doesn't matter because it's a pretty easy angle. But that's why you'll oftentimes miss when you're doing some of the puzzle skips, because you're aiming at a weird angle and it's trying to kind of, it's not adjusting for you.
Ooh. Did that double? I couldn't hear it.
I'm not sure. I think it did.
This is why, like, being able to plan out your damage with the hammer is so hard. Because, like, it's very difficult to tell if, like, if you don't have, like, the sound effects turned up, whether or not you're getting the doubles. So you can't really mentally keep track of how much HP an enemy has. I think that was probably one of the most jarring things about starting Weapon Relay, is that, in particular with the hammer, you don't have a good mental model for how much damage you're doing. And in a game where damage cycles are everything, it's kind of a nightmare.
Just always hit the double hits. It's that easy.
5 head.
I would never misspace a heavy hammer.
Yeah, simply be good at the game. Have you considered?
I'll try that next time I play.
Me too.
I, having not considered that, couldn't tell you what it's like, but seems fun.
I try it now, but I'm kind of committed to just flying, so maybe not this time.
We can see the crow doing his stretches because he knows what's about to happen. He dives right in.
I love those animations. It's so cute. The change from like not seeing it coming the first time to being scared the second time, and then just like doing his little calisthenics.
Yeah.
So cute.
If y'all have not played this game, it oozes personality and charm, and you owe it to yourself to play it. Not just as a runner of the game, but as a video game enjoyer.
Yeah, it is one of the most, like, it knows itself games I think I've ever played. Like, it has a personality to it, and it knows what that brand is, and it is so consistent with it and genuine. It's just wonderful.
Not something that you would expect out of a rhythm game, to be honest.
I've never seen that before.
Probably the most satisfying part of this Avarice, where you can just heavy double this Smo over and over again.
Yeah.
And why ever would we call those Smos?
Great question. I hope we leave it at that.
Yeah, I actually don't know for sure. I have heard the story, but I've never played the game that confirms it. So
Yeah, they just look like a character named Smo from Dark Souls.
yeah.
Yeah. Sadly, it is not
like-
more interesting than that.
I caught a
Right,
glimpse.
yeah.
It was very similar.
As with most of the trick names in Death's Door, it's like, why is it called Puzzle Skip? We skip a puzzle. Why is it Mom Skip? We skip Mom. What? Like,
Why do
we're
we
not reinventing the wheel over here.
why do we call it death skip? Well, we die and then we skip back to the door.
Yeah, like.
Conveniently, the door that we were at put us right next to the other door that we unlocked earlier to be able to quickly just grab the greatsword, which is going to be the weapon that we use for the remainder of the run. Oh, we missed a dialogue skip. Unfortunate.
I find that one's a little harder to hit consistent.
Yeah.
Because you're falling off of the ledge while you're trying to do it.
Something that we haven't talked about is fast door. So, I don't. Is it possible to fast door with the hammer? I don't think.
I don't think so. It is with the greatsword, but it's really hard and inconsistent, so I just don't bother with it if I'm being honest.
Well, you have to do a roll heavy, right?
Yeah, I think so. You can technically do it with a regular slash, but that is hyper inconsistent.
Yeah. So what we're talking about is you can basically force your hitbox into the door hitbox, and if you hit interact while you're inside that hitbox, you can trigger the door to let you in without having to go through the entire animation. So it's like you save half a second here and there, but we can't fast door with all of the weapons. There's two types of fast doors. You can either do like some kind of attack to make your hitbox go into the door, or you can turn around as you're coming out of a door to go back in. But yeah, it's a little frustrating that we can't really do that with the hammer.
Yeah. Luckily, it's not a huge deal. It does add up a little bit.
Yeah.
So just to explain what we're doing a little bit here, we are trying to get past this castle to the next section. And so there's this, I'm gonna try to not fall. Down there's a elevator that we're unlocking by lighting the fires. That is not what I want. And so we have 2 more fires that
You
you
were
can
gonna
light
clip
here on the top half of the section.
This is puzzle skip. We're gonna roll on top of this lion's head. Oh, as you can see at this gate, there's TFT, what are you doing, man?
Having a little bit of
You need to slash before you do the hook shot.
delay, but we're good.
So that there's like a lion's head on that gate that it has like a weird hitbox. You can roll onto it and skip doing the whole puzzle. It normally saves, I think it's something like, it's either 20 or 40 seconds, and I cannot remember what it is.
It's a large amount of time.
But it's fast, yeah. Because as you saw, like hitting the switches and kind of like going from like pillar to pillar is quite slow. So being able to skip that is really nice.
I would also argue that it's the hardest puzzle in the entire game to do, this one right here.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Fittingly, it's also the hardest to do the skip for.
It is.
I think it would be nay impossible for me to do at this point because I've only done the skip.
Yeah.
It's been literally years since I did the puzzle.
We got a nice little trick there. Sometimes you get early control out of that door. It saves literally a second and a half, but it is completely random. We don't know how it works. If someone figures it out, let us know, because it's been bothering the community for ages. But we got it here, so saved a little bit of time.
It just works.
It just works.
It's definitely not luck. It's 100% skill.
True.
Yeah.
90% concentrated power of will.
Something like that.
Okay, we're gonna get a jump from. Yo, we got a nice big jump from Arm Day.
Let's go, Arm
Let's
Day.
go armed.
Blessed run.
We're just going to be making our way over
I've
to
seen
the
them.
next section. So actually, Marcy, if you have anything, it's probably be a good time.
What I will say is we do have a reminder that we do have an open bid war right now going on for tomorrow's first run as the costume bid war for the game Control. Right now, of the 4 suits that are available, asynchronous suits currently in the lead, $50. Golden suit close behind with $25, and janitor's assistant and astral dive suit have yet to get any love from y'all chat. So if you want to have an influence on how the start of next day tomorrow, that's the word for it, that run's gonna look like for the character that Cass will be running as, get your donations in. We're also trying to see if we can maybe inch our way towards 1,500 before the end of the night, you know, just to help those dogs out a little bit more.
Thank you.
Save the dogs.
We love
We
dogs.
do love dogs. I think Roger, you were saying something before.
I completely forgot what I was
That's
saying.
okay. We're in Watchtowers.
But we're finally gonna see a part 2 of one of these dungeons.
Yeah, this is like the only part of the game that we do in the intended order.
Watchtowers is part 2 of this 3rd dungeon. After getting the hookshot, as you can see, you kind of need the hookshot to navigate Watchtowers. We will also use the hookshot to navigate Watchtower in ways that were definitely developer intended. And then we will also fight the boss after this. So we do like all of this in order, and then we start doing the other bosses backwards.
Yeah, you'll see. So the main damage output, or at least like the highest DPS that we really get out of the greatsword, is going to be with roll heavies. And that's because, you know, we want to kind of stay mobile. Because if we do like a regular heavy, while it does do more damage, it takes, as you can see, like years to come out.
Yeah, it's one of the few places where it's actually helpful because you have that time waiting for the hammer burst to come down anyway. Other than that, like, let's got his heal.
What do you do?
I don't know why I grabbed the heal. I was talking.
Hey, wait, did you want to go back to open the
You know what? It's fine. It's fine. I think
Safety strat. Now you're feeling
I'm
it. You're feeling
feeling
good.
I'm
You're locked
feeling
in.
it.
All right.
We've been doing pretty
we're
well.
not gonna die. We healed at full HP, so basically we have 8 health right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
8 health confirmed.
If you think about it,
It's like a 3D Mario game. If you overheal, you just get more.
that's not true at all. That's okay. We'll pretend.
It can be true in your heart. That's what really matters.
No one's ever died in
So
Ice
we're
Arena.
coming up-
No.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
We're coming up on. I would probably call this the hardest arena in the game, especially with this loadout. Like Strength 3, Haste 1 with a greatsword. This is not a comfortable arena by any stretch of the imagination. It's very hard, even with the sword. So, I don't know. I'm sure TFT is gonna pull a rabbit out of a hat here.
Yeah.
'cause-
Contrary to the bit chat, I promise 100% of runners in both this call and in the chat have died to Ice Arena once at least.
I think I've lost at least half a dozen like PB pace runs to this arena. So, yeah, it's something.
It's Ice Arena. It's a difficult arena, but also there's ice physics. Like, it speaks for itself, really. You'll notice TFT using the hook shot to move around quite a bit. That is to avoid the ice physics. Not only do you get to your target location faster, but you don't slide around a bunch getting there, and you don't slide around a bunch once you get there because hook shot.
That was an unfortunate kind of. I would call it an RNG hit from the grunts. Oh, we're not gonna be able to get this hook shot.
I was a little off, but that's okay.
It happens. So if you're quick, and bear in mind this is like extremely hard with the greatsword. If you can kill the right side hammer bro, you can hookshot over to the archers that were on the top ice portion and keep them all upstairs, if you will. Yeah, TFT handled that really nicely.
Yeah, let's go 1 damage Ice Arena.
We are gonna heal for Betty though, because Betty's a little inconsistent with the greatsword.
Reasonable.
If you wanna talk about Betty a bit while I do this, and hopefully don't die.
Yeah, usually this fight is like you could close your eyes and do it with the sword because you can just hit the regular damage cycle. Not so simple with the greatsword. So you'll see TFT doing these roll heavies to avoid these ground stabs that she's doing. And yeah, this is a little bit rough, but
Yeah. Perfect example of the like tempo thing we were talking about before. It's just so hard to find the rhythm again once you get hit once on Betty.
Yeah.
yeah.
Unfortunately, also the fast routes only consistent if you fight Betty the first time, so probably gonna play this mostly straight.
Huh.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know that. I just thought I was bad.
No.
It's like anytime I die the first time, I was like, man, now I just cannot get the timing. So good to know that that's like real.
No, it's because on the second occurrence, he instantly jumps, so you don't get the chance to just hookshot and stay in her hitbox. I would say that casually, this is probably the hardest boss in the game, which is a very stark difference from the normal like any percent speedrun. GG's.
Probably the easiest in normal any percent.
It is, but
Other than Forest Spirit, but as we said before the run started, DFS doesn't count.
that's true.
Even this version of DFS doesn't count, really.
Yeah. If you wanted more proof that this is a rhythm game, I mean, just look at Betty. Like,
Just look at that. Come on.
You're gonna get a quit out here. Yep. Okay, so now we're gonna start doing some backtracking. Technically, this is like kind of reverse boss order. Oh, I guess we got to meet the Lord of Doors. I forgot that happens.
Oh yeah, we gotta go talk to our
A
boss.
little cutscene here.
Yeah. Yeah,
Did we explain literally any of the story?
No, we have not touched the story at all. And that's okay. It's a speed run. Who cares about the story?
Yeah.
I
You want to know the story? It is a very good story, but if you'd like to know it, play the game.
Black would be so proud of us.
And if you want the full story, you also have to play Titan Souls for the lore.
That's true. And you have to do 100% for a true ending.
It's true.
And because Hundo is fun. Oh, I also just realized the skipper is not showing up on my like the Discord share that we're watching, but it is showing up on screen.
It is.
So we should probably tell chat why it says skipping in the bottom of the screen all the time.
Skipping. Yeah, so the Death Store community is actually quite nice in that for accessibility reasons, we allow the use of an auto text skipper. And this is because for every text box that we have in the game, it requires 2 inputs to optimally get past it. And turns out that, you know, hitting a button twice for every single text box in a game that has like multiple minutes of cutscenes, it's not really great for your hands. So basically every runner uses a text skipper, and yeah, it's great because it saves your hands. And at the end of the run, there's like a 2-minute cutscene. Instead of having to sit there and mash through it, you get a bathroom break, which is really, really nice.
Yeah, that's the best part of 100% is you get a built-in bathroom break, and if you hit hand wash skip, you can usually get back in time to not lose any time.
This is true. Yeah, I will say Death Store, in terms of like its inclusivity, in terms of the accessibility,
You can roll over them?
Yeah.
it saves like maybe a second, but yeah, you can roll over that.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I think Death Store community is like a good example of trying to be inclusive and succeeding.
Yeah, we don't want anyone getting repetitive strain injuries for a video game. That's stupid. Don't cause yourself permanent harm for a speed run. Just change the rules so that no one hurts themselves.
This is probably
All right.
another pretty good time if you have anything for us, Marcy.
What I will say is I'm just enjoying the vibes of this game. This game is super chill. I've been meaning to get around to this. I love crows. And I love all the support our dogs have gotten today, too. So, brief reminder, we do have that costume bid war going on for Control. It's going to be the opening game of tomorrow. If you want to have an influence on which outfit that our runner will be donning for that run, make sure to give a donation here to Go Rescue Pet Adoption Center. ! Donate in the chat to see the link. And, yeah, for a good cause. We love dogs around here.
Heck yeah, heck yeah.
They're,
Still funny.
TFT did a lever skip by rolling onto one of the ledges and then rolling past the locked gate. Pretty nice. Saves a few seconds.
Before haste upgrades were a thing, that skip was really hard and inconsistent, which is why we have the Waterbird copy pasta, because it was the place where people most frequently fell into the water.
If you do the right side for that, you don't have any chance of falling into the water, and it's basically the same skip.
I looked too. You can sometimes hook to this heavy archer I just hooked at, but they have to be in the right spot, and they were not on this run. So
No, it's a bummer too, because it's like a pretty big skip. That's just purely RNG if he's in the right spot or not.
RNG in my speed run?
Ugh.
oh, this is better.
Yeah.
Stares at all the JRPGs I run. Yeah. Who would?
This is better than the alternative. If someone wants to go through the story of how we got hookins. This one right here.
Oh God.
You used to need to wait for a mage to spawn all the way over there so you could hookshot. But now we just hit this heinous angle with the arrow to hit that switch. It's quite hard. Like the spacing for it is kind of terrible, if I'm being honest. And you'll see a lot of top runners, like even TFT has missed it. It's
Yeah.
and then you just get bullied by mages.
Oh, we're gonna heal here. There's luckily a heal in this
You'll
one.
also notice from the way that TFT's cursor was moving while aiming, TFT uses mouse and keyboard for that. A lot of runners do that because the half a second you lose moving your hands to the keyboard is better than the multiple times you'll miss it because of auto aim not liking that corner. It's easier to
Is it
just...
even possible to hit with just controller? Because I think I've tried that and it never worked.
I have no idea. I've
yeah, there
never
are-
tried.
Yeah, there are a couple of angles in the game that you just like can't really. Well, you can't really hit them with controller consistently. I'm not gonna say definitively if it's like, oh, that's impossible. It just feels impossible.
It's my time to shine.
Gotta heal real
You
quick.
ready?
Just for safety.
Okay.
So you can get ready.
I haven't done this in a while. It's gonna be rough, but we gotta tell everyone
Alright.
our good boys' full name.
Happy, what
This is
this boss?
This is our second boss, who is, of course, the king of the swamp, the guardian of the flooded fortress, lord of his domain, ruler of all his service, champion of the people, keeper of the five hills, first of his name, second of his other name, who is without middle, initial, or mercy, destroyer of all those who would question his rightful ruler, look at him askance, eater of the vanquished, devourer of the indolent, guzzler of the non-committal, bestower of wrathful opprobrium, and fount of most wondrous beneficence. All glory to him and his mace, holy basher of toads, not frogs, but really water toads anyway, like worse frogs, right, uglier, too smartest creature in all the land, really clever like that Einstein guy, but more handsome, and okay, we hit the word count.
Perfect.
All
I'm pretty
right.
sure I've read all of those words on the screen right there.
But in Portuguese.
Yeah, you'll see TFT switching between a couple of different spells here. That's because the fire that you just saw him do, it can double most of the time, and then we do the Meal for a King strats where we feed Frog King a bomb, and this does quite a bit of damage, and it also staggers, so it allows us to get a bunch of heavies in. Okay, I don't think we're going to be hitting the 2 cycle here, so we're probably going to have to wait for him to...
Sorry, 1 second. My game's not cooperating quite, so we're gonna take this a little slow.
Yeah, that's okay.
But it's okay. We'll just
Yeah, this is
grab some second bomb here. That'll be fine.
This is mostly like a rinse and repeat kind of boss, where you just do the same thing over and over until you deplete their health pool. I wouldn't say that there are any like, cult strats, but GG's.
Jeez. Now we got
Probably
2
Sorry, go ahead.
bosses out of the 3 that we need
We,
for lore reasons that you can find out if you play this game.
we're kind of just skipping over the entire lore, but that's okay.
I want to spoil
It's
it.
the lore. Like, we're just trying to beat the game as fast as possible. I don't see why. Like, we're clearly not reading anything. You know?
Yeah, I don't speak Portuguese.
Forgot to grab the extra dice here. That does explain a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to, when I grabbed the strength before I moved on, grab the dex, and it makes that just a little safer. So that does explain why
Explain why the fight felt
the game
weird.
wasn't cooperating because I forgot to make it cooperate better.
I forgot to press the cooperation button.
All right, we're gonna see a lot of hook shots here, and this is one of the reasons that we go through and do this in reverse boss order. Because normally you would be doing this area after you get the fire spell, but after we've gotten the hook shot, we can kind of just blaze through this area super fast because it turns out a lot of the things in this area are hook shotable. So. Yeah, we can
That
just
last room, for example, I didn't know that what TFT just did is a swag strat, and I didn't know that was a swag strat until I had run the game for a very long time, because that's what I did in my casual playthrough, because I'm stupid and didn't think I could just walk around. I was like, oh man, I gotta like shoot it and time it correctly. That's gonna be really hard. No, you just walk around.
What we saw TFT do just then was stop like midway down the stairs to be able to hit that furnace, the fire, and this gets the cutscene of Grandma to overlap with the cutscene of the door opening, and it saves 7 seconds, something like that.
7 or 8, about there.
This is a super fun area where we get these cycles from the pistons. The pistons move in time with the music.
Because it's a rhythm game.
Because it's a rhythm game. Yeah, they move with the music, and because there's like they move on the half note, so there's a little bit of time between each one, which allows us to skip some cycles if we're quick enough, which is really nice.
You saw TFT hit a very precise angle to be able to light that furnace from inside of the doorway. That's to save himself from needing to walk all the way in front of it, because the hitbox for it is quite narrow, but you can hit it off angle. It's just very precise. So you're going to see TFT hookshotting through a lot of the enemies and then lighting the appropriate furnaces, and we're just going to keep going through the area like that.
Do I have? I have a seat. Okay, yeah, I'll show this off because it's fun. I'll just plan to heal afterward. Because I don't know if Happy's seen this.
I don't know why you would need a seed here, so no, I have not.
Okay, so we do this specific roll. Oh, okay, one more time. Do this specific roll. Spawns the muck, so you can just bypass that entire section.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's crazy.
that's awesome. Oh, that's huge.
Yeah.
If you do that optimally, does it actually save time?
It does, but you have to lose the health, and one day we will route a intentional damage tank into the run, but I have not felt comfortable enough doing that yet. So
Fair.
someday it'll be in a pushing for world record speed run.
Like you could intentionally take a damage with the fart mage guy.
You can get all of these without waiting for the cycle, but it's really, really hard, and you basically only have enough mana pips to miss once, which is why TFT didn't go for it again the second time, because you'd have to walk all the way back if you miss. And that feels bad.
Looks like TFT's gonna hit the fast cycle. What? Okay.
I was a little
why it
late,
looked like
I
it.
think, so that the piston didn't
It
time
looked
it.
like. Yeah, it looked very strange. It looked like it just like kind of waited for you a little bit.
Yeah.
We're coming up on the third boss to get our third great soul, or whatever it is, lore things. Taking the heal, yeah. Okay.
Are we gonna get an Achievo?
We should have
I don't
time.
think we're gonna get there.
I mean, I'd have to wait for it.
Like,
Oh,
Yeah.
true. Oh, with Greatsword, you still get the kill before then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like I don't even think it should be close. We have strength 4, dex 1, haste 1. Like this should be free.
Yeah, there are some times where it doesn't work out, but that's just, I don't know, there's some weird timings that happen sometimes. So, we'll see.
Yeah. There's some strange interactions that this boss has. Sometimes you can like hit the urns that she's holding and get the deflect while she's still holding it, so it doesn't even have to hit the ground. TFT, have you figured out how to like consistently make that happen?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I have not figured that out.
Just me.
Consistency in my death's door?
Never.
Alright, I'll wait, because we're just so close. May as well.
Yeah, we might as well.
Papa!
Papa! That is an achievement and a category. How quickly can you set Grandma on fire?
Okay, so that's all 3 of our great souls. I didn't realize that the soul orb stays on fire. Yeah, we're heading into the end game now. Or I guess we've been in the end game, but
the way the speed run is, we basically set up an end game boss rush. We finish like everything else and then just do like boss.
Yeah. We did the end game, then we backtracked a little bit to do some of the other bosses.
Yeah. So now the boss rush continues.
Not quite.
Because we need to get to the final boss, but to get to the final boss, we have to go have a few conversations first, and surely everything will go really normally, and there will not be another boss to fight before the final boss.
yeah, surely not.
Surely.
It's never happened in the history of video games.
No. Everything's gonna go really normal and cool.
So we're gonna have a cutscene coming
Yeah.
up here. Since we're not caring
Remember,
about
like the very beginning of the game when we pulled that lever? That's why, so we could come back here.
Yeah. Since we're not caring about lore, this would be a pretty good time for if you have anything, Marcy.
I think at this point, I'm just enjoying the run. Y'all are doing great. I love the birds. Chat, I hope you're enjoying the cozy vibes here tonight and no glitches allowed. And yeah, if we want any more, oh, that's my microphone. If you want help support the charity here, just as a brief reminder, we do have that costume bid war going on for Control tomorrow. So feel free to get your donations in for that. We're doing a soft little push to maybe hit 1,500 tonight, but either way, we'll have that bid war for first thing tomorrow morning going until the start of the run tomorrow.
Thank you.
This place always reminds me of that episode of SpongeBob where Squidward's alone.
Yes! Alone.
Hello.
Alone. Yay, it's my favorite little fanny pack Blink. I love him so much. Never
my
change
favorite
my
character.
sweet, perfect boy.
So yeah, we basically, as a treat, we get this 2-minute lore dump. We're not going to explain it.
Back in my day, we had to mash through this section. We got repetitive strain injuries and we liked it.
The thing we didn't mention before about that also is you can master this as fast as you humanly can. So it's just at the end of the day, you're literally hitting 2 buttons on repeat as fast as possible. And it can get really stress intensive really quickly. So it's really nice to have the option to use the...
It's also nice because we are about to need to use our hands a lot for some really hard boss fights. And so it's nice to get a little break to stretch them for a minute before this happens. Unbelievable soundtrack, infuriating boss fight.
What do you mean? This boss is completely consistent? There's no jank at all? I've never been hit by a spawning murderling. That's never happened. I've definitely never lost a run to that either. So yeah, the main gimmick for the Great
Speaking
Crow
of,
is that yeah, every time you smack him, he spawns these little murderlings, which the strat is usually to just deflect them back at him, because as I said earlier, it'll do double damage. However, there's like if you group them up too tightly, they'll kind of all count as one thing, and you can't just like you can't just wait until you have like a bunch of these. I think you would need, because this boss has like 90 HP. Oh wow, that was fast.
Really
GGs.
good Grey Crow fight.
I'm not sure how much damage you're doing right now with 4 strength greatsword. I think does like 2.25 for a light. I can't do the math in my head right now, but basically you can't just stack up a bunch of murderlings and one-shot the boss.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. As swag as that would be.
Especially because the murderlings have a cool tendency to like not go all the same direction if you like wide slash them. So even if you stacked a bunch of them, there's a good chance a few of them would miss anyway.
Yeah, I mean you can circle around them to like group them into
Heck yeah.
murderling.
There's a little skip there. To if you start talking to the upgrade guy before the cutscene to show you the door starts, then you can do both at the same time.
Oh, I did that.
I assume it's much easier.
I don't know why I did that.
Dude,
This is so
risky.
hard to do on this, so shouldn't bother.
I was wondering if you were gonna go for the fast door.
Yeah,
'Cause
you can
usually you
technically
go for that,
fast
dude.
door that, but as you saw, if you miss it, you just get stuck and soft locked behind the door. Have to save and quit.
Yeah, the heavy quick or the heavy fast door is the way that you normally want to do that, but we don't have the regular sword. All right, this is the last lord, so we have this like kind of like parkour slash kind of combat gauntlet leading up to the final fight. It's actually really cool because the last lord will pick up attacks from the previous bosses. So after this little parkour segment, you're gonna go for the insta-door.
I am 100% going to.
Okay, sick. I guess I should explain that. Basically, the last lord will snap his fingers, and when he does this, it spawns in the
Let's go.
hitbox for the door. And so when he snaps his fingers here, we're just gonna get instantly teleported.
Nice.
We're gonna get a, yeah, there we go. And we can do this for every teleportation out of these arenas. So if you just stand in the right spot where the door is going to spawn, you can get teleported instantly without having to wait for the animation of the door. But yeah, he picks up attacks from previous bosses. So in the next arena, what we're going to see is he'll do like this jumping attack like the Frog King does, and it'll spawn these like pink pillar things. I don't know what to call them. I don't even know if we're going to get to see
My
it.
favorite Chapel Roan song. Pink pillar things.
No.
Oh, missed the
Jeez.
door.
That's okay.
It's my fault TFT missed the door, honestly.
I was trying to figure out the joke.
Maybe
My
you do
brain
this
was on it.
That was on me. I love this section because you can just roll through those things. You can just get the iframes and fully ignore them.
I did not.
And if you didn't notice yet, each of these fights is taking place in the arena of the boss whose attacks the Lord of Doors is stealing.
Yeah, as you saw, Lord of Doors does the Betty roll there. And you can hook slash through that column there. Nice game.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about how if you hookshot something, the crow doesn't exist for the time that you are moving to the hookshot location, so you can just hookshot through some walls.
I think it's not everything has like proper collision at all times, right? Because you can still arrow through things like that as well. So
Mhm.
maybe it's just that the spells don't have the collision, and then your collision gets.
Yeah, it like considers you part of the spell as you're pulling
Yeah.
to the hookshot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now
this
the
is
actual final fight.
At least for any percent, yeah. So we're going to be coming up on time here at the last hit of this final boss. I'm assuming what we're going to be seeing is a lot of roll heavies from TFT here, interspersed with some light slashes. And it's because some of the timing for the attacks here is a little bit awkward, especially with Great Sword.
in a little bit of game lag, but that's okay. We'll just play through it.
Oh, the mash though was fast.
Oh, what? Kind of a jank hitbox there, I think. TFT, if there's a an expanding orb, are we gonna see a swag roll?
No. I can do the
Not anymore.
I can do the first one pretty reliably, but I used my attack timings to kind of judge it, and I don't want to risk it with 2L.
Oh, right.
I feel
You
like,
can do, like
you getting hit at the exact moment that question was asked was the answer.
Indeed.
Yeah, that's on me. I'm sorry.
If that question answers itself, it's not
Time?
not with
That is
2L.
fine.
It's a really good door fight. It was fast.
Pretty good.
Pretty solid run overall. 2 deaths, I'll take it. Well, two unintentional deaths.
Oh, right. We I forgot we do the intentional death after ABBA 3.
And we did Thistle Warp this run too, so a couple of them
True,
here.
true.
Yeah, that's the base run of the game. Because of everyone's generous donations, I believe we're going to be doing the Jefferson quest. I'm not quite sure how we're going to do that order-wise. Marcy.
We're definitely doing Jefferson Quest. What do you mean by order?
Are we taking a break, or am I just going straight into it? I'm not quite sure how we want to do that. So.
How long does it take to get to it?
The credits. I actually built the credit time in, so I can just do it right now.
I'm gonna be honest, I haven't been advised on anything else, so I say let's just hang
Yeah,
out.
let's just do it.
Yeah.
We'll do the credits and
You
then
just
we'll
jump
do
straight
it.
into it.
All right, so
I don't think we need a break.
cool. Thank you all for your generous donations again to show this off. It's an optional part of the game where we get to meet a fan favorite character named Jefferson, and I bet someone else wants to kind of give an overview of it.
Yeah, so normally in the game, Jefferson kind of functions as a like a hint service. So we didn't see any of these during the run at all, but there are these shrines.
That's him on your screen right now.
Oh,
He's the
my
squid
God.
slash sailor guy in the yellow coat on the right. But yeah, he functions as like a hint system. So there are shrines that give you essentially heart pieces or like shards for your pip upgrades. And he'll tell you, I think, like where 3 of them are at a time, something like that. We obviously didn't need that, so we didn't go and talk to Jefferson because this is a speedrun. And then as part of the true ending, he has an associated quest that we're about to go on. There are a couple of prerequisites for this quest, though. The first being we need to turn the world from daytime to nighttime. So I think pretty soon here we're going to see that as the last lord's body is getting dragged away, he leaves behind a key, and this allows us to change the time of day, essentially. There is a way to get early night through a minor glitch, but I'm assuming we're going to pick up the key instead of doing early night.
No, we're just gonna we'll go through it the way you traditionally unlock it, just to make it easy.
Someone in chat just said, "Hear me out. Do the early night setup."
Yeah.
I did not get that set up. I'm sorry.
Nope. Sorry.
Okay.
Just want to give everyone
yeah,
a traditional
gotta
run
look
through of this.
Yeah. This is for the people.
Oh, I
For sure.
did want, just so we can kind of experience this together. I'm gonna
You know what? That's
swap
fair.
the language over real
Yeah.
quick.
A big part of the joy of Jefferson Quest is the storyline.
He is a fan favorite character for a reason.
So we have a couple other things we're gonna do
Perfect angel.
after we get night, because there's a whole kind of side story behind why. We can go into the lore, actually, we have time, but we need to go collect the teddy bear real quick, and then we'll be able to help Jefferson out.
Yeah, what was it, inked teddy bear or something like that?
I think it's ink-covered teddy bear.
Covered, yeah.
We'll see you in a second. We ring the spell to turn it to night. My menu's all in the wrong spot because I changed language. It's okay.
So it's nighttime. We're gonna make our way back over to the stranded sailor, and like conveniently, wait. I'm pretty sure this is where the ink covered teddy bear is, right?
Mhm.
It's like over by the Smo.
It is. Yeah. Well, yes, it is. Actually, you're correct. Conveniently.
Jeez, somebody's a 5 relics runner. Knowing where
I've
the
never run
relics
that category in my life.
5 shinies. Anyone?
Yes, 5 shinies.
I'm just gonna do this the normal way too. There's a fast strat for this. You can bait the Smo into the water, but it's not hard to do the Smo the traditional way. I'm just hanging by the side and hitting it repeatedly.
Yeah, you'll notice that the Smos are all right-handed, so if you just hug their left hip, you just basically never take damage.
Oh,
Yo,
let's go
but-
look at it.
When they invent a left-handed Smo, it's over for us.
There it
Yeah,
is.
dude. It definitely is ink covered. So yeah, Jefferson is we were talking about this before the stream. Like, I'm not even sure if Jefferson is the squid or the guy. As he has this corpse, and part of the charm of this character is that he pretends to be the human as he like puppeteers him,
We found out his secret.
and he serves you food.
Now we're gonna do a bigger secret.
Yeah, if you go visit him during the day, he does great lines of like it's very like I enjoy food like humans eat, and you're like, he's not fooling anybody. So then when you find him at night and he's like, egads, you've discovered my secret, you're like, sure,
Yeah,
Jess,
coming.
Yeah. He kind of just attaches
Those two
himself
legs.
to us and be like, we're gonna go to the east now. And you're like, all right, let's do it. The one restriction
and
here,
it makes just the worst noise every time
Yeah.
you roll.
we can't go through any doors. We have to actually walk our way to the spot, which is why we're rolling instead of going through a door to where we need to go.
Did Hundo Brain turn on for a
Yeah.
second there? You almost took the ghost.
Yeah. When you run 5 categories of a game, sometimes they intermingle on your head.
It really be like that. The number of times I've been trying to do an any percent run and have like lost pace and had to reset because I just went on a side quest for like a seed or something because Hundo Brain kicks in and you're like, wait, no.
Get one more round of claps and some spins. Jefferson's gonna talk to us a little bit more here.
Love it so
Jefferson
much.
looks wild during the spin animation.
Something I didn't point out the first time, but as we go into the ruins or whatever, there's a sign with Leg Day's face on it right there, and he's upside down and he's smiling, and I love it.
He loves his job.
Yeah, there's a few
You
more
know,
enemies. here
do what
than
you
normal.
love and you'll never have to do leg day in your life.
It's true. I just want to hang from a line and, operate a gondola. Is that too much to ask? So yeah, Jefferson is saying that there's like this big secret and that we're going to be guided by the moon or something like that. So I think he's going to say that we're getting close soon. Yeah. Keep your eye membranes open. Look for guidance from the moon.
Or Jefferson, my eye membranes are open and ready.
Your eye membranes as humans have.
If you look at that, my eye membranes are open and I'm seeing some moon things, so might as well follow this path. Has anyone made any progress on a blindfolded run of this game?
I truly don't know.
I do not envy them if they have.
I have
sounds
trouble
hard.
staying on the flanks with my eyes open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be incredible, but I certainly will not be the one to try.
surely it would be mouse and keyboard without not controller, right?
Probably.
Yeah, a little more consistent with the cardinal directions.
All right, we've made it to the end, so we have a little button we need to pray at. The shrine. Jeffin's gonna call on the spirits here. Tendrils of Truth. That sounds like a lore thing. So, yep, we helped Jefferson get back to the water.
Yay!
Yay!
We pick up
GG.
this totally ancient tablet of knowledge that we, I'm sure there's something behind that, but that's for a different time. That's Jefferson Quest.
Also, that's time, I think.
That is time.
That is time.
GG's
GG's.
TFT.
Thank you all for giving us a chance to show off both Weapon Relay as a category and Jefferson Quest. It was a ton of fun. Thank you for having us, and it was an awesome time. I'm TFT, and you can find me at twitch.tv. It's _TFT, and I'll be on a little bit later tomorrow for hosting shift. But how about Happy and Roger? What about you guys?
We're gonna kill it. Yeah, I'm Happy by 3. You can find me at twitch.tv/Happy by 3. Would you look at that?
Crazy.
Current uses of my time include Skate Horse. If that sounds fun to you, then why? But also feel free to come hang out.
Yeah, I'm Roger. You can find me at twitch.tv/VelociRoger. I mostly do Death's Door and some GeoGuessr on the side, and maybe some Hollow Knight every now and again. But yeah, come hang out.
And if you're interested in the game, there's the game Discord that has a speedrunning section on it. It's not hard to find if you look at the speedrun page, and all of us and many other people would be happy to help you learn the game and just kind of have fun time with it. And I think that's about it from us. So.
Well, thank you very much, TFT Happy by 3 and VelociRoger, for joining us here tonight for this final run of No Glitches Allowed 2025 Thursday. So yeah, we're going to be doing our finish up stuff for tonight. Stick around. We'll be finding a raid target here in a bit. Let us do some organizing on our end, and we'll do our final day stuff here in a bit. Talk to y'all later. All right, y'all. That is it for the Thursday showing of No Glitches Allowed. Join us tomorrow, where we have plenty more wonderful speed runs coming up. We have the control speed run's going to be tapping it off. We'll have that costume bid war, which final chances to donate for that will be once it starts tomorrow. But this is my one host shift for the event. I have been Marcy, your host for tonight. I am on Twitch as just Marcy as well. The X is silent. You can pronounce it as Marcy if you want, but I do the X is silent. I appreciate you all joining us tonight for this this event, and we're going to be going and giving a raid to one of the people who's involved in this event, Sporadic Erratic. You all love her, and I do too. They're a wonderful person. So yeah, thank you very much for joining us tonight and for getting us up to over $1,400 in total donations. And I will see you all tomorrow, where I'll be doing some social media stuff as well. So thank you for joining us. Take care. Have a good night, y'all. And yeah, have a good night.